Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another HuShang tutorials lesson. In today's video, we're going to be looking at adapting to Protoss Stargate play. And so this is a Masters level ZVP. Quazillion is Master 3. My Zerg's a little rusty, so we're playing on a bit of a smurf. But we're getting back in shape this week with Zerg, and so I'll be doing a little more Zerg videos rather than Terran videos this week. Okay, so we've opened up super standard so far. We're just getting the 13 Overlord. First Overlord's going across the map. I'm not sure why this Overlord's going this way, to be entirely honest. The second one should be coming here to look for a cannon rush. And then it should be coming over here later on to scout for the tech. But I'm sure I'll alter that in a second. And then we're going to go 16 hatchery, 18 gas, 17 pool. Now here's something subtle that I see a lot of people sub-masters doing, is they're not actually getting the most minerals possible. And what I see a lot of students doing is putting 3 guys on gas right away. And technically this is going to get your speed a little faster, but there's no real reason to have speed that quickly. And so if you can do this, your defense is going to be, or your economy rather, is going to be a little bit stronger than otherwise. So something to consider. Now here what I'm going to do is show you guys a way that you can kind of cheat dealing with Protoss distractions. Is just grab this third hatch on 20 supply. And this way you don't have to deal with the Protoss, you know, pylon blocking you or whatever, being annoying. So I've been doing this lately. I think it's maybe slightly less efficient, but certainly a lot less annoying. And another advantage you get is with your lings, you can actually run them straight across and try to sneak past the first adept. Whereas if you're taking this base after the lings, then you have to use those lings to move the probe away, which means you can't take this third base if they block you and get the scout. Okay, so we have our pool finished. We're grabbing our queens. Now this probe is being a little bit annoying. I'm not going to make any lings yet. I'm trying to be pretty greedy here. I could make 4 lings, I suppose. But just droning. And I'm leaving this Overlord here at the natural, just in case, just to see what unit Protoss makes. So we're just chilling here. We want to see if this is a Stalker or an Adept. And this is going to tell us a little bit more about what Protoss wants to do. Actually, let me go back just a second. Probably a lot of you guys are familiar with this actually, but if Protoss wants to do a really fast Stargate, then what they need to do is actually cut the warp gate on the cyber. So you can see here on the production tab, Protoss is getting their Stargate before warp gate. And so you can actually see this if you look at the cyber core and you see if it's spinning or not. So right now it's not spinning. And in a second, you'll get the visual on what it looks like when it is spinning. There in the middle, you can see. So now we know he's researching warp gate. So this is most likely Stargate right here. It could be other builds for sure, but it's most likely Stargate. And so we have that little piece of info. Adding on my extra 2 queens. And this is something you should maybe try to do if you're already masters, is try to cut stuff that you don't need to be making. So in this case, this Protoss just never sent out his adept, so I literally never made any links. And we're just going to use the Overlord to scout instead. So my drone count is much better than it usually is. We've also pulled fully off gas, is something I like to do. I know some Zergs like to put 1 on gas. I don't think this is the best, but so I pulled all mine off. And we're getting ready for this Overlord Scout. So far I really have no idea what Protoss is doing. And this is fine up till 3:30. And that's where we're going to make some choices. Whether we want to get a fast layer and a Roach Warren quickly, if it's some sort of like Twilight Robotech, or whether we want to go for a much more delayed Roach Warren and layer. So this is the key Overlord. So if you go to my vision here, you can see we're going to spot this tech. I'm not sure if I see this actually. I think I have it shift queued or something. But we probably could have escaped with his tech scout. But losing this Overlord is not a big deal. So we see it's an Oracle. And so my reply obviously is going to be to get some Spore Crawlers in a second. Should get one over here as well. And once you are facing a Stargate build, this is when you know that you can be a little more greedy than normal. Because, you know, in order for Protoss to do this type of Stargate build, then they're committing a lot of resources to the Oracle or Phoenix Harass. And so they can't really have a lot of ground units as well. So because of that, you can delay your Roach Warren. You don't really need that. And you can also delay your layer if you want, just to get some more drones out. So normally I would get a Roach Warren here at 4 if I was playing something like a Twilight opening in order to get roaches in time. But since we only really need this Roach Warren for later, I'm just going to delay that till about 4:30 instead. And we got a little supply block here, which is obviously a mistake. This is because this Overlord died and I just made one replacement, but I should have made 2. So a little bit of a mistake there. And yeah, he's being super annoying. We're really just focusing on our own play here. Like if I go to my vision, you're going to notice that I'm pretty much just ignoring the opponent for now. There's nothing we need to scout right here. Absolutely nothing. So we can just keep droning. Maybe give you guys a little quiz. If you watch the ZVP build, you should know we're going to be going for a roach timing. So you should know how many drones you want for a speed roach timing and how many gases. So we're going to aim for that right now. We're going to be aiming for 52 drones and 4 gases. And then we're going to just do a very simple roach timing. And yeah, I mean, our game plan here is not too complex, but the important thing is how we're getting our gases and how we're taking our tech structures, not too quickly. And so this is going to give us much more units than you would have otherwise. Now we do see him expanding here, which is important, but I'll get to that in a second. So I'm up at 55 workers. Actually, this is a little more than I would want. Usually I go to like 52. And then we go for the roach attack. Just making some overlords preemptively. Pumping out the roaches now. And from here, of course you want to get the roach speed as well, but we're basically just going to push him. And if he doesn't get this third, so obviously we know he has this third, but if he doesn't have this third, this roach timing is actually very good defensive response to this opening as well. So right now we could just be, if Protoss didn't have any bases, we could just be sitting here making roaches and we'd be safe against anything they can do. But since we know he has this third base, we can go for the timing. I guess I missed the roach speed a little bit. Here's where we actually fully confirm that he has this base. Maybe a little bit late. There's always going to be these subtle mistakes in your games unless you're like a really, really high GM. But yeah, everything's going pretty smooth. Like we've got to the right drone count. We only got supply blocked, one time because of the Overlord dying, and so everything's fairly smooth. And we're just going to try to hit like 630, 645 roach timing here. So the important thing is that you are able to identify what tech Protoss is going for, adapt your droning and teching slightly to get the most out of your economy, and then you want to know when it's okay to push. And so it's okay to push when they have this third base. And this is an all-in for sure, so it's not like this is guaranteed to work, but I can personally guarantee this is going to work up to low GM, at least, if you do it correctly. I know game time is proof that this build works up to like top 16 GM. It's a really, really hard build for Protoss to hold. We'll talk about what Protoss can do in a second. But I mean, this makes it look like it's super broken. We have like 30 roaches to some adepts. And so yeah, super, super clean game. Of course, this is only Master 3, so it might be a little more difficult against Master 2 and 1 players. But I guarantee this works the majority of the time. And so Yeah, super clean. I mean, from here, he's trying to make immortals. He's trying to get some stalkers. He's got, you know, void array and an immortal on the way, but it's kind of unclear, or it's all too late, right? So from here, we can just keep making roaches. I did get a Hydra Den, just seeing the void ray, because, you know, eventually he might kill these roaches, and we will need Hydras to end the game if he's stubborn. But that's just kind of just in case. You should basically win the game with these roaches because you're gonna kill all the economy. So this is just like you know, for later if he's stubborn. But okay, so he's basically lost all his workers, and he's gonna be forced to tap out here in just a second. Surprised he didn't tap out already, actually. He's fighting till the bitter end here. But yeah, let's take a step back and let's look at what Protoss can do. So let's go to like 4 here. And so Protoss is getting his oracles out. He's going to be harassing. You want to be careful when you're playing Protoss that you're not focusing too much on these oracles actually getting damage. I mean, you want to get damage, obviously. It's a nice little bonus, but it shouldn't be the main focal point. So, for example, when he comes in here, this is actually kind of suspicious that I don't have any workers. So this should actually throw off some signals to him. And the reason I don't have any workers here is because I'm a noob, and and I didn't replace this overlord. So, but this should throw off some alarm signals for him, right? Like, he shouldn't be okay with this. He should be looking around this area and trying to see if I'm already making a bunch of units. And he should also be checking to make sure I have a lair. Like, he doesn't know I have no lair yet. So I mean, I could definitely be doing an all-in. If you guys saw the all-in Cyril did against Trap, I could be doing that all-in. So he's got to be careful here. But instead he's, you know, maybe busy with the macro or something. His robo was on time. He's getting his tech. This is all fine. This is all good stuff so far. But yeah, so the lack of scouting here in this area is a little problematic. So he's finally going to see my lair. This is definitely too late if you want to, you know, not die to all-ins. Actually, he didn't even look for it. Yeah, so he has no idea I have a lair. Just now he sees it, but he's still really preoccupied with getting drone kills, which is honestly not that important. And yeah, he doesn't know I don't have these gases, and he's not positioned correctly in here to see that I'm making roaches. So he needs to see these roaches, and then behind this he needs to macro appropriately. So the correct way to macro with Protoss is not to add on these gates too fast. And this is probably the most common blunder Protoss are making, is they're getting these gates way too quickly, thinking, oh yeah, I need these gates to be done so that I can make more units for the attack. Which kind of seems logical, but the problem is that you don't have any immortals if you do this, and you basically only want immortals when you defend these attacks. So you can actually just stay on like 2-gate robo, and that's totally fine to defend this type of all-in. Obviously you can add some gates on later, but for the beginning you just need to chrono immortals. And so the optimal defense is something like 3 immortals and like 3 shield batteries. And if you just have that defense, then you can basically hold 16 roaches or whatever I'm making. But if you go like this and you add on your gates too early, and you know you're trying to get all these zealots and adepts really quickly, which he does make, yeah, like he has so many units. These are all basically wasted money. This would be much better if he just had like 1 stalker and 2 adept, and that's it. That's all you really need. So he's way overcommitting on these gateway units, and he's really delaying the immortals. Yeah, even now he's getting an observer. So a lot of wasted robo time and wasted money. Extra gates again. And so all of this is adding up to you know, to units that he doesn't have, the immortals basically that he doesn't have for this push. And with the way he played, he can definitely have 3 immortals and 3 shield battery right here. So if he does do this defense correctly, then he's gonna have the tools he needs to defend this. But it's still a pretty scary tech. It's actually still pretty easy to lose against this with Protoss, so you got to be careful. But that's the setup you want to have if you are a Protoss player. All right, cool guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you can leave a comment and like the video, that would be super sweet. That would help me out a lot. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.